English fault, cracking the earth open and killing hundreds of people.
Well, that was very specific.
I know.
Ladies, sorry.
Well, I guess since I'm the last one left, I have to go. So, to start off, I want to say that since I'm the one to take on challenges, I moved from regular English to honors English.
Gee, thanks.
You're welcome. So, as I was saying, halfway through the year, I decided that regular 8th grade English was not difficult enough. So I took the risk and joined honors. After joining honors, my writing improved tremendously. The different writing techniques that Miss Campbell taught me transformed me into the writer I am today.
Not a very good one.
Whatever. Anyways, I was saying that I have really improved on all key things we had to do in English. To begin with, the first essay I wrote as an English 8 student was my hero essay. In that essay, we had to talk about the qualities a hero had to have, and also who our hero was. I decided to talk about my dad, Ben, because he has done some amazing things in the military. But one moment in particular, partially because he saved the life of a teenage boy. In a nutshell, we were swimming on a hot July day, and he saw a boy drowning, so him and a woman pulled him up to the surface and started performing CPR, and ended up saving a child's life. I rate myself like a 4.5 because I used everyone's feedback and ended up getting an A. The next thing I wrote was my Hobbit essay. In this writing, we had to see the differences that Peter Jackson made to the movie. The scene I had to analyze was the riddles in the dark scene. I talked about how Bilbo woke up and was next to someone and saw who the ring belonged to. I rate myself like a 3 because I procrastinated really hard on it. My next writing assignment was the name vignette, which was my first major English 8 honors assignment. I had to find information on my name and receive feedback from students and Miss Campbell and apply that feedback to my writing. Well, I did that, but forgot to turn in my revision paper, so for that reason I give myself a 2. I'm trash and no good at English. For the hero essay, I revised it about 10 times. JK, I had 5 drafts. But Hobbit essay, I revised 4 times. In my name vignette, I did 4 drafts. My writing skills have improved tremendously because I used to not be able to write a full page essay, but now I struggle to make it happen in 2 pages. What an improvement. I hope you laughed, Miss Campbell. One of the changes I made in my writing process is that now I actually look at what these peasants have to say about my amazing writing, but the feedback sucks. I do this just so that I could be a fair ruler and actually look at my people's advice. This really is helping me because now that I have learned to take other pieces of advice, I can use that in my work for the future. Of all these essays, I am most proud of my hero's essay. It showed my strength as a writer. Also, I wrote this when I was in regular English, but it was at an honors level. It was what pushed me to make the decision to switch. And a hero is someone who steps up when everyone else backs down. In this quote, I analyzed The Hobbit at a different level. Not only was I able to analyze the quote, but I was able to connect it to the whole novel. A goal I am going to set for high school is to stop procrastinating because I know I've said this for my previous portfolios, but next year I am really going to try. The next section I will be writing about is my reading. I first want to start off by saying that my reading comprehension has really improved. I know this because I'm able to process bigger and more challenging words through my brain because I used to be a dumb blonde, long hair girl. And now, let's talk about my literary analysis. So at the beginning of the year, my DEJs were not good. The only good thing about them was my heading because I mentioned myself. But now on all my DEJs and my LRAs, I could write a full page of what I thought the quotes or the chapter meant. This really shows on how I have improved as a writer throughout my 7th and 8th grade career. I really have improved though as a writer because since I have moved classes, I was able to make a transition as easy as possible. For example, when I moved to honors, my grades started to slip a little bit, but my bigger writing assignments were able to stay at a B or A. This really shows my strength as a writer because I was able to keep my writing scores the same even when it came to the big change. One of my writing pieces I am the most proud of is my hero essay because I put so much time and effort on it, and it was also my very first major writing assignment in 8th grade. I got a really good grade on this, especially if you think about the part where I was in regular English. Now, for my last section of writing improvements is my ideas for the future. My goals for college is to stop procrastinating. I know I say this every single portfolio, but I've got to get that through my head, even if I have to get spanked with a metal belt. Now, let's talk about my improvements in reading. Improvement in reading, that's right. I want to start off by saying how much I have improved in my comprehension. I've learned through different techniques that I've learned from Miss Campbell and Miss Moreno. For example, I've learned that if you really read and edit all your work, you'll be able to understand more about the scene or story you're talking about. Something else that has changed this year is my literary analysis skills. At the beginning of the year, I used to write a one-sentence summary of what I thought the sentence or quote meant. And back then, I thought the best part made the EJs were. Some things that helped me out with this were the key novel The Hobbit. J.R.R. Tolkien is such an inspiring writer. He showed me that I didn't have to listen to the rules in English to make a good summary. So I decided to start bending the rules of English to make it a better summary. Changes I have made in my reading are by adding characters into my head. So when I read a story, I give them different accents and different character traits so that it's easier for me to picture the scenario. Every time I read the story, I read in these voices or as his characters. For example, when I read Shakespeare, I talk in a British accent and in royalty or a homeless accent. Some goals I want to achieve while I'm reading in high school is to keep on keeping the character sides to me. When I read a story, make sure that I'm always reading the correct words so that I can get the storyline correct. And if you understand the story better, then it's easier for you to write essays or summaries about the story. Outside of class, I've only read one other book because I really don't like to read outside of class. The story that I read outside of class was Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. While reading this, I understood what the main character was going through because I can relate to being annoyed by my parents and being confused about why my family is so important to the society. Two of my best works in English this year were my Hobbit essay and my soliloquy essay. I believe these are my best works because I understood pretty much everything that I was writing about. For example, the Hobbit essay had to talk about changes that Peter Jackson made, and I really did understand because I knew a bunch of stage directions, so I believe I did really good on that for that particular reason. Now I feel like my second best reading response was my soliloquy essay because I have done so much research about the scene and how it really affected the character Malvolio in a certain way. Next thing is how I improve my speaking and listening skills. I never really changed because I'm always good at speaking and listening, but my speaking skills did improve because of drama and musical theater classes. I used to be really scared to go in front of big groups of people and talk, but now I'm really comfortable now talking in front of big groups of people. But my listening skills never really changed because all you had to do was shut up and sit there and listen to what people are saying. In conclusion, my work was probably the best in my English class and my honors class because I'm just like that, and my self-assessments really do show that through my work. It really did explain how good of a writer I was and how amazing I was in all my other classes. And it shows how well I can actually work if I actually put myself in all my work. Anyways, thank you for listening to me talk about my English 8 portfolio, and I hope that you really enjoyed myself talk about English and all this English. That was so trash.
Wee.